You're listening to, well, this soundtrack, part of it is, Vlastimil Vibes. VLASTIMIVIBES. Vlastimil Vibes. VLASTIMILVIBES. Vlastimil Vibes. You can check him out on Twitch. We're checking him out right now. He's playing his set titled Dream State Like Grooves. Push for partner. Congratulations to him. It is Monday, July 26, 2021. Had to check it out a little bit. Monday, July 26, 2021, 6:12 a.m. 6:12 a.m. Finally got the body map in order. Feeling okay. How are you? How are you this morning? How are you feeling? I hope you're able to feel the weight of the body down the front of the spine and into the rainbow arches at all other times and feel in the front of your shins. It might help to remember that you don't sit on your legs. Welcome back, guys, to another fantastic week full of life here on Pago One. What did we say? We said using our sense of the world to make sense of the world. World peace through individual strength. Waking up the globe in the mornings, physically, mentally, spiritually, then physically again. Why? To feel better, objectively. How? Your only no-nonsense podcast on your best feeling network. With Herbie on Pago On. Today is Mover Monday. Another Mover Monday. Remember, everyone, always in one ear and out the other as we stretch our self-awareness like a muscle today. Feeling ourselves individuals within the entire world, and also remembering that the entire world is composed of us individuals. Would you mind pretending that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out? And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. Today on Mover Monday, we discuss the exhale. The exhale. We'll be right back. Morning, Pago On. You were able to feel the weight of the body down the front of the spine in this morning. Remember, everyone, the front of the spine, the weight-bearing portion of the spine, which is the front. Say it with me. The weight-bearing portion of the spine, which is the front. Say it with me. The weight-bearing portion of the spine, which is the front. Here on Pago On, we're all about the feeling better than sex. As in a feeling that's within you, that's always there, that won't leave you, but feels better all the time as you use it. It doesn't go away as you use it. Everybody, wouldn't that be so wonderful? On the only network that puts you as the human as the center. We'll be right back. This is Pago On. Good morning. guess we were right back, or you could have stayed right here with us the entire time, which is totally welcomed. Whatever you are doing, wherever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are, whether you are there out there in the future pulling us in, pulling us in now, pulling us in now, pulling us in now, from wherever you are, whether you are there right now on this Monday, or maybe you're far off in the future, 3,000 years in the future, digging us up from a time capsule. Or maybe you were here, hanging out with us right now. Or just a little bit in the future here on this Monday. What are you doing right now? Are you kicking off the blanket? Are you finally waking up? Are you brushing your teeth? Are you shaking that butt? Are you in the shower? Are you cooking a little stuff? Are you making some pasta for yourself? Maybe a little cup of wine? Glass of wine? Are you driving your car right now? Are you on a rooftop partying? Are you changing the baby's diaper while it's peeing in your face? What you doing right now? Are you waiting for your friends to come through? Are you waiting for another podcast to come on? Are you waiting for your favorite show to come on? Have you just finished watching YouTube? What are you doing right now? Why do I ask? You know, on Padawan here, we are always trying to stretch our self-awareness like a muscle. As we know, our bodies themselves are so freaking crazy strong that its self-awareness itself will stretch. There are muscles inside your body that are related to self-awareness itself, and your body feels so good when you stretch your self-awareness. And what do we mean by that? As in, your body can do all these crazy, wonderful things all by itself. Here on Padawan, we are all about relationships, especially on Mondays. We're all about the relationship with the self. And we know that our bodies kind of do their own thing on its own sometimes. Like when you're drunk or when you're sleepy, you know, you still somehow make it to the bathroom, or sometimes your leg twitches. Sometimes we don't live up to our own expectations. You know, our bodies, even when they're unconscious, our bodies are still able to do all these things. So don't we have a relationship with our body? You know what I'm saying? Body's all capable of doing all these wonderful things. Should we just know how to communicate it? Isn't our body able to take steps over to the door and then open the door? Is it looking at its own feet individually as it walks over there? Is it looking at the right foot? Put that right foot forward. Put that left foot forward. How many inches? 24 inches in front of the right foot. 33 inches in front of the left foot. Are we measuring like that, or is our body just kind of able to do its own thing on its own? We just kind of have an awareness of going one direction, and our body kind of knows what to do, right? You ever seen dogs? They kind of do the same thing where you kind of put a dog over the water. Before the dog's even in the water, the dog's already paddling. It's like the dog doesn't even know what it's doing yet, right? It's like our bodies have a way of having a mode of just moving, not necessarily knowing the individual things that it's doing, but our body kind of moves on its own, right? You kind of tell it to do one thing and it goes in that direction. So same thing with the weight. You just want to make sure that the body knows to put the weight where the body's able to support it, because our body is so smart. It is so strong that wherever you decide to place this weight, it will try to do that, even if you try to place it in the wrong places, you know? And that'll hurt your body because there's all these nerves there that aren't meant to be holding all this weight. Feels good, right? Feel good. Feel good. Here to always feel good. Always feeling good here on Padawan. Never getting angry, but always feeling good. How? Because we're focused on the body. As in, would you again, please, with me, pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out? Would you pretend with me that there's a lit candle in front of the lips that you're trying to not put out? And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. And just observe how your sense of self feels. Your sense of self, as in how your left arm feels different from your right arm, or your right arm feels different than your left arm. Even your eyes feel different from each other. How your stomach feels different than your head. Your sense of self. How when you get a stomach ache, you can now feel your stomach, but when you are feeling fine, your sense of self doesn't feel that stomach ache. You feel more whole, right? You don't feel like there's an other part of you, like a stomach, but more like everything is one, right? Like everything is one. You kind of get that whole feeling. As in your sense of self, right? Your sense of self shifts. Sometimes your sense of self includes. Sometimes your sense of self includes your stomach when your stomach is hurting. But other times your sense of self, like when you're getting off the right side of the bed versus the wrong side of the bed, your sense of self either could feel very fragmented, like if you have a stomach ache, like separate parts of you. If there's a pain in your left foot, it becomes very pointed. Or your sense of self can feel very whole and at one with itself, like when you're sprinting or when you're really focused on some task that you're really in love with, your whole body kind of feels one towards one intention. Now, isn't that your sense of self? Isn't that where most of our body is lived, most of our experience? Right? Here on Padawan, waking you up every morning, whatever you're doing. How is your sense of self feeling, whatever you're doing? Are you putting the clothes away? Are you brushing your teeth? We're going to talk about the exhale today. Where does most of your body feel, right? When you're having a good day versus a bad day. When you have the woke up off the wrong side of the bed versus when I woke up off the right side of the bed. Is that in your touch? No, your touch would alert you to the texture and the heat of the things you're touching around you. Not necessarily how your day is going, how it's feeling. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily how your day is going. That skin thing. How about in your taste? How about in your nostrils, your hearing, or your smell? Is that where you feel that your day is good? Good morning. Is that not where you feel your day is good? Or is it in your taste? Nah, it's more in your kinesthetic sense, right? Your sense of self. As in, when you have a stomach ache or a headache, your sense of self is a little bit more fragmented, right? You can feel more other parts of you that are not whole. Parts of you that are not integrated into the whole, but rather feels like an other. It's like, this part's different than the rest. It hurts, right? Our sense of self. Where our bodies feel the idea of having a good day versus a bad day, right? This right side of the bed versus the wrong side of the bed. Not grounded in our five senses, but actually in our our sixth sense, our sense of self, our kinesthetic sense, our sense of balance, our sense of relationship with itself. As in, doesn't your left arm feel different than your right arm? And don't you have a relationship with your body, right? You might not like certain positions that your arm is in when you are resting at your table. Or when you're sleeping, you might have like a relationship with your body where like, yeah, I don't like sleeping on this side of my body. It doesn't feel good. Don't we have a relationship with ourselves, right? And how do we better that relationship with ourselves? Well, we better our relationship with our breathing. Because isn't our breathing our body's only way of communicating with itself? It's our active way of interacting with our experience in the world that we actually have anything to do over. As in your heartbeat. Do you really have any control over that? It's going to continue. Right? Can you hold your heartbeat down the same way you can hold a breath down? Can you hold your pulse down the same way? So how do we do this? No matter where you are, no matter wherever you are, whether you are shopping, wherever you are working in the morning, one way you could do this is by pretending that there's a candle in front of the lips right now that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. And just observe your sense of self. Again, if you would with me, just pretend with me, there is a candle in front of your lips. A lit candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. Again, would you with me? Pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips. A lit candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. Just like it was your birthday or something. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. Don't even think about inhaling or exhaling. Just to leave the candle in front of the lips. Just to observe, put into awareness the idea of a lit candle in front of your lips. that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. As in, just observe how your sense of self feels as that happens. As I say, to allow these words to enter one ear and out the other. And observe your sense of self as you literally imagine these words going in one ear and out the other, like a Dexter episode. Like a Dexter's Laboratory episode. Allowing the words to go in one ear and out the other. How does that affect your sense of self? Doesn't what your awareness is on, doesn't that affect how your body's sense of self is shifting and breathing with itself? Don't you have that crazy superpower of being able to shift your awareness and to just watch your sense of self and how it moves? Does it feel better? How does it resonate with you? If we, again, pretend one more time, there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. Does that affect your sense of self? Your body's balanced with itself, your body's feeling in it of itself, your relationship with yourself. And allowing these words to go in one ear and out the other as I join the symphony of your world, always asking you to stay within that godlike body of yours, that godlike window, that window to this godlike experience that these humans profess about, and these humans experience, and these humans have passed it on for thousands of years. This window to that godlike experience of yours. I want you to stay in there. I invite you to stay in that body. And one way is to pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone as you do. As you activate muscles that we haven't activated in a while. As we battle misconception over and over that has ruined our relationship with ourselves and become more acquainted and welcome ourselves back to ourselves again once more, but in honesty and truthfulness this time. Not with the lies of the world. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about the exhale. As in there is no inhale, guys. There's no inhale. There's an inhale, Herbie. No, there's no inhale, as in with the natural human way of breathing. The most optimal way of human breathing. You don't want to think about an inhale. You can inhale. But in order to get that yin-yang inside of your center to be moving properly, you want to focus on the exhale. You want to focus on the exhale. Your entire body, your entire awareness wants to focus on the exhale. Why is that? Because your body is designed to beget an inhale after a proper exhale. How do you got it? There is an inhale. How do you get a proper inhale? By getting the most optimal exhale. As in, you have to expel all of the air that you can from your body so that your body is poised and ready to get all of the new air into the body. Physiologically. Not some chakra. That stuff comes later. But physiologically, you want to focus on the exhale. We'll talk about how to do that today. We'll talk about what that means. We'll talk about how true that is. We'll talk about why that's true. How you can see it's true reflected in society. We live in a post-factual world today, guys. On Pagawan, in 2021, we live in a post-factual world. As in, you can doubt all the facts you can. You can always say that, hey, who said that? Who said that? Well, who said that? Well, who said that? Get all these news sources. Well, who said that? I don't trust those sources. I don't trust those sources. Here on Pagawan, we work from the inside out. Make you feel good from the inside out. As in, we look at what already exists in the world and show you proof of what's already there. Just shifting your awareness. Not asking you to learn anything new, but asking you to just observe what's already there. It's already there. Like these feelings within you. Like the ability to place the weight of the body down the front of the spine and into the rainbow arches at all of the times. And remembering to not sit on your legs as you feel the front of your shins. And doesn't that feel good? And as you're able to shift your awareness and make yourself feel good, did you create that design? Were you in the womb stitching yourself up like some magic baby? Or did you just come like that? This ability to make yourself laugh. This ability to shift your awareness and make your body feel good. What the hell? How did we... What? This stuff's crazy. It's like right inside of us. So as we're learning more about it, as we're able to just shift our awareness, our superpower, and shift our sense of self just by shifting our sense of our awareness. I'm gonna ask you, ever thought about that? The exhale versus the inhale. The exhale versus the inhale. We think about inhaling all the time, right? But today, as we are pretending that there's a candle in front of the lips that you're trying to not put out, to leave your swallowing muscles on. As you're pretending that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. Being life-loving here. Life-loving instead of death-fearing, always. Life-loving instead of death-fearing. Make you feel good from the inside out. Due to this post-factual world we live in, you can't trust anything that's going on out there. You can trust yourself, though. You can trust your own amazing self. Able to create metaphor, able to draw meaning instantly. Bah! Someone tells you a joke, once you get it, bah! It just clicks within you. Amazing human creatures, you. Amazing human movers, you. You're always a mover. While you were receiving this information, while you were receiving those jokes, bah! Before your body is even creating all those meaning, you're even breathing at the same time. You're doing so many things at the same time. Your body's always moving. Establishing meaning. We live in a post-factual era. You can't trust those facts out there. But you can trust the people who are helping you draw facts and establish more power in your own sense of ability to create meaning. People's ability to energize you from the inside out, that you can trust. People's ability to know your body, your machine, your mechanical workings inside of you. What makes you tick? How do they know that? Well, because they have their own inside of them too. So we relate to each other with ourselves. So how do you trust anybody in this post-factual era? Not by people who look outside at those facts, but at the people who look inside so that you guys can actually relate on something. As in pretending that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And then to leave your swallowing muscles alone. As you're doing that. Again, would you pretend with me that there is a candle in front of your lips, no matter where you are? You could be taking care of a baby right now. It could be pissing in your mouth right now. I want you to pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips. You're trying to not put out. You might want to close your mouth. And then leave your swallowing muscles alone. And doesn't that feel good from the inside out? From the inside out. One more time, pretend with me that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. To leave your swallowing muscles alone. And just observe your sense of self as that's happening. Isn't that, and is that something that was happening by you looking outside of the world at some facts? Or didn't that just come from you? Or wasn't that just all you? That was all you, baby. That was all you from the inside out. You did that. I didn't do that for you. That was all you. I didn't touch your awareness like that. I asked you to join me, but that's all you. If you did that, that was all in your awareness. That was all you. No one else can touch that but you. That was all you. Only you could bring awareness. Only you could gin up your awareness to the idea of having a candle in front of your lips, and then allowing your sense of self to shift to that idea from the inside out. What else do you need to verify? Who can you trust in the world right now? As we are learning about the exhale, as we As you didn't just realize that you're actually learning about the exhale as we're talking about the candle. As I was reminding you, please don't think about exhaling or inhaling. As your body is thinking about the candle, as your body is creating ideas, as your body is using its own awareness to shift itself, your body naturally exhales. Your body naturally exhales to do things. And we'll return to talk a little bit more deeply about the exhale. But in this post-factual world, on Mover Monday, don't you need something from the inside out? Because how can you trust everything else? What is this? What is that? Oh, this news source? Who told you that? Oh, that tragic accident? Oh, that tragic political event that happened? Well, who told you that? Oh, how can you trust that? Well, I trust this. Well, how do you trust that? Who do you know who to trust? Everybody's got their own sources. Everybody's got their own ideas. Well, who you can trust is the ones who put the humans at the center. The ones who trust the strength, the creativity, the ability to establish meaning and connection at the human center. The one who's not trying to control that, but rather just shift your awareness and allow your amazing, godlike bodily window inside of you to do the rest. By appealing to know. By knowing to appeal what they know about the human experience, right? As you are already this godlike creature, you able to establish meaning. And if you couldn't, then you wouldn't be able to laugh at jokes. You wouldn't be able to cry in movies. You wouldn't be able to see metaphors. You wouldn't be able to laugh at symbolism or like symbolism. You wouldn't be able to laugh at irony. But you do. You really do. You are all those amazing things, you beautiful creature, you. You are all those amazing things. Why? Because you are this window to this godlike thing within you that's able to establish meaning like so quickly, like 3D, so fast, in all directions, like quantum physics, so fast, your body's able to establish meaning. Let's trust the ones who appeal to that meaning, as it's so strong. We only need to shift your awareness a little bit to things to get us on the same page. We need to not try to convince your brain to believe anything, but rather just to see what's already there. Some of those things can be hard to see what's already there. Sometimes you need to put certain hypothetical things into your awareness to see what's already there. For example, you might need to pretend that there's a candle in front of the lips. Something you haven't done in a while, maybe. You might need to pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. As you're remembering to not exhale or inhale, just pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. So you're leaving your swallowing muscles alone. You don't need to inhale or exhale. One more time, just pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. To leave your swallowing muscles alone. Doesn't that remind us to become aware of some muscles that are already there? We can trust the people who trust the design of your human body because you are always in your human body. So the people who are on your side are the people who want to bolster your ability from the inside out. From the inside out. Which, yes, might backfire against them should you guys ever be in a conflict. You might be strong enough to hold your own. But those are the people who you can trust. Because if they want the best for themselves too, they want to make sure that you can hold your own so that they can bolster their arguments should you guys get into an argument. And so we fail forward together, we grow forward together. So who do we trust in the world? The people who trust the human experience as much as you do. As in your own trust in your body, that when you jump on the bed, your body will land there. Or that your trust in your own body, that when you're thirsty, you will realize when you're thirsty. Or when you're sleepy, you will realize when you're sleepy. Or for you to feel all those 3D feelings about your family when your family's around. Is that a lie? Around you, these 3D feelings that happen instantly in life, that just cause you to take all these actions in your life, are those lies? No. So who do we trust in life? The people who recognize that that's a reality in everybody's life. That intuition that happens in 3D. From anybody's vantage point, from all the things in your life that you can see, you know to make this choice because no one else can see what you see in your life, and you know to make that choice. So who can we trust in the world? The people who recognize and appeal to that power in you, that window inside of you. People who want to empower that from the inside out, knowing that that is the strongest that you can get out of any human being is from the inside out. Not by convincing them or confusing them or scaring them with outside things, but rather by inspiring and bolstering them and empowering them from the inside out. How do we empower people from the inside out? Well, improving people's relationship with themselves, as that's what we're always looking at anyway. We're always looking at people's relationship with yourself. As in, ew, he's dirty. Well, why does that matter? Because they stink? No, everybody stinks sometimes because it describes a relationship that they have with themselves. Ew, they put on too much makeup. Does it look bad? No. Well, why does it matter that they put on too much makeup? Yeah, there's too much makeup. Well, why is that bad? Does it look bad? No. It's just too much. Intuitively, we know that there is something off about that. But we're so smart, our human body, our human brains are so smart that we're just like, you gotta prove to us why that's a bad thing, and we couldn't do it. We're like, it's just too much. No one's gonna, there's a real reason. The real reason is because it describes a bad relationship with you and yourself. It describes a relationship with you and yourself that you feel like you need to hide something. But our relationship with all of ourselves, everybody's relationship with yourself is most ideal when you are not ashamed of yourself, but rather just be in yourself. As we did not choose more than half of our lives what we even wanted to be, right? We weren't even self-conscious until 11 years old, 12 years old? There's so much of our personality that was just there and we just have to deal with it. So our relationship with ourselves looks so beautiful when it lacks shame. We're just looking at relationships with ourselves. Kind of got off. You know what I'm saying? With our relationship with ourselves. As in, how well are you able to breathe? What's your relationship with your own body, with your own body's design? Does it feel good? Are you able to feel good when you want to? Are you able to pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out? Are you able to remember to leave the swallowing muscles alone? And you don't realize, but you've been exhaling this entire time. Isn't that beautiful? As in, as long as your brain is focused and intentionalized on some thought, as long as your brain is being aware of some task that your body is a part of, you're exhaling. By nature. You can inhale, but as soon as your body starts forming thoughts, you're exhaling. As in, as soon as your body becomes aware of putting this candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out, you are exhaling. You don't need to add any extra effort. You're already doing it. This exhale is actually what's keeping you balanced and upright. Don't worry about it. You're good, girl. You're good, guy. I want you to exhale, as in pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips. You don't need to try to blow it out. Just pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out, actually. Is that your body's shift in awareness, your body's intentional awareness is the exhale itself. And a full exhale will grant you, will bestow upon you like a gift, a glorious inhale. As in, you want to kill that exhale. Every exhale is an idea, is a life, a breath, a death. Every exhale is an idea. Did you know that you die every 5 minutes, but that counter is reset every time you take an inhale? Did you know you die every 5 minutes, but that timer is reset with every breath you take? After a sentence, don't you take a breath in? After every formed, complete idea, don't you take a breath in? How do we get the best breath that we can? Get the best exhales that you can. You focus all of your intention on the exhale, which grants you the good inhale. But Herbie, how do we know that's true? How do we know that's true? Are we sure that that's true? What do you mean? I inhale all the time. In yoga, they're always telling me to inhale. They say, breathe out. Okay, now inhale. Okay, now breathe out for 10 seconds. Now inhale. No. As soon as you think about inhaling, you're already using muscles that are not ideal for inhaling. How do we get the best inhale by the best exhale? As in, when people are trying to feel better, do they keep it in or do they talk? Do you keep it in or do you scream? Do you keep it in or do you cry? Do you keep it in or do you sing? Do you keep it in or do you put it out? Do you keep it in or do you scream it out? Don't we already know intuitively that there is something relaxing, there's something therapeutic about putting it out, about throwing it out, about throwing the stress out, the air out, as in pushing it? Don't we associate that already with better breathing somehow? In culture. Don't we already associate the idea of pushing our breath out with the idea of relaxing, right? Isn't that why we scream? Isn't that why you cry? Isn't that why you laugh? You push the feelings outwards, right? Don't we already associate the idea of pushing these things outwards with the idea of getting a better breath? One more time, don't we already associate the idea of pushing our breath outwards with the idea of getting a better breath? I want you to pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're not trying to put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. Remember, don't inhale, don't think about exhaling. You are exhaling, but don't think about either of those. Just place into your awareness the idea of a lit candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone as you do that, and just observe your sense of self. You're feeling better every day. Jack the Lee. We'll be right back. using our sense of the world to make sense of the world. World peace through individual strength, waking up the globes. Physically, mentally, spiritually, and then physically again. Why? To feel better. In every way, objectively. How? Your only no-nonsense podcast or your best feeling network. With Herbie. Good morning, this is Pagawan. Remember, always allow all of these words to enter one ear and out the other. As we are stretching our self-awareness like a muscle this morning. Is that not true? I hope you had a good break. I hope you're able to pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. It is Monday, July 26th, 2021. Mover Monday. It is 6:52 a.m. Good morning. You're able to pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. It's just flickering there. You're not trying to put it out, remember? You're not trying to inhale. You're not trying to exhale. Just pretending that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. No matter where you are. Where are you? Are you at the grocery store? Are you at the doctor's office? They making you wait. Those losers. Are you stuck in traffic? Are you tapping away at the computer? I hope you're able to place the weight of the body into the front of the spine and into the rainbow arches, and remember that you do not sit on your legs. I hope you're able to pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. To leave those swollen muscles alone. And it's Monday, so would it hurt if we did it one more time, if we pretended again with me that there's a candle in front of your lips? A lit candle in front of your lips that's just flickering there that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swollen muscles alone. You know, I gotta say, you would not be alone. You would not be alone if you yourself were thinking like, yeah, you know, you inhale, you exhale, you inhale, you exhale, you know, equal amounts of attention on both. I like inhaling, I like exhaling. Sometimes I inhale, sometimes I exhale. When I smell something good, I inhale. When I smell something bad, I exhale. Blah, 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 blah. You might think about those things, right? You would not be alone in thinking that. Even the yin and yang are equal, right? The white, the black. The white and the black and the yin and yang, equal parts, right? Equal proportion. That's even the point, right? Is this idea of balance, that they're equal. However, what we always talk about here on Pagawan, this duality of ourselves, right? We have this relationship with ourselves. We are not 100% ourselves. We have this relationship with ourselves, this side of us that was gifted to us, this design. Not just this design, but then also this personality that our design has created through event after event after event of using this design for years and years and years, right? We've created this personality based on this relationship we have with this inside part of ourselves that we barely even knew. We barely even knew, yet we have this intimate relationship with ourselves, right? We have this relationship. Right? So you might not be alone in thinking that the inhale and the exhale, because we have this relationship with our bodies, like what we understand our bodies to do, what we understand our bodies to be designed to do, right? We have this relationship with our bodies. But we found out was all kinds of wrong here on Padawan, right? However, our relationship with our breathing should be such that we put most of our emphasis, most of our awareness onto our exhale. Although they may be even in our experience when we are focused on things like pretending that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. When your awareness is on that, our breathing may, in effect, be even, in the sense that our exhales look very similar to our inhales, very similarly in amount of action in our bodies. But that does not happen by us switching our focus from exhales to inhales, to exhales to inhales, to exhales to inhales. Right? Is that not true? When you're watching a movie, are you exhaling and then inhaling and then exhaling and then inhaling and then exhaling and then inhaling? No, you're just constantly drawing new sentences in your head, right? Like, what's that? What's that? What's that? Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. So isn't your body able to inhale on its own without you thinking about inhaling, right? You're just constantly exhaling. Constantly just new ideas, right? We talked about how exhaling is like sentences. You're just saying new sentences, saying new questions. What's that? What's that? What's that? Oh, look at that new light over there. Look at that new plot development. Look at that new character thing that happened. Your eyes are constantly focused on these things, constantly forward thinking, constantly drawing new ideas, drawing new meaning as you're watching these movies, right? You're not inhaling. Why is that important? Not because you can never inhale, but rather we give ourselves a little bit of permission when we finally know what to do. We've had many thoughts about what our life was supposed to do, what our experience was supposed to be like. Everybody in life, everybody in society is telling you, you got to do it on your own. You got to figure it out. Everyone has their own way. You can't figure it out. They lied to us. Our generation was lied to for like the last 60 years. It's true that everybody lives their own lives, obviously, because we live in our own houses, but we are very similar on the inside. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing because we all have these burning questions that our entire lives we've been asking, but no one can give us satisfactory answers. So eventually we just rolled with it. We're like, roll with it, SpongeBob. We're just like, all right, I guess I'll just never ask that question anymore because no one has a good answer anyway. That's what it ended up being. Because you'll say stuff like, I bet as a kid, you inquisitive person, you were probably like, hey, when should I inhale? When should I exhale? And then someone is probably like, what are you talking about, kid? And then you just never brought it up again because you're just like, wow, I feel stupid. So here what we're doing, giving ourselves permission. You are allowed to just focus on the exhale. It's true. Your body is designed to inhale by itself. It's true. Focus on the exhale. Focus on the scream. Focus on the poetry. Focus on getting your ideas out. Focus on fully finishing that task of yours. Society would have us believe that we should lay back, that we should inhale when times get rough, right? We should inhale. We should keep it in, right? You should hide it. You should retract it. But it's not true. Not according to our body's design. We should be exhaling. Focus on the exhale. Focus on the expulsion of your ideas. Focus on the doing. Focus on the finishing of your ideas. Focus on the saying of the ideas, not the holding back. As in when you pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. As in, as you're keeping that into your awareness, you need not inhale. But your idea's complete awareness, or your body's complete awareness of this idea, held long enough, will grant you an inhale from your lower back. Did you know that at least half of your breathing happens from your back? Did you know that at least half of your lungs exist in your back? You can breathe through your back. Contrary to popular belief, you can actually breathe through your back. What the heck? How does that feel for you? You're like a bat. Some kind of crazy bat thing. You can breathe through your back. All these misconceptions about our bodies. off the jump, just off the idea that we don't have any similarities. If we didn't have any similarities, how could surgery work? How could all these medicines work? How could our ability to like share stories work? Do you have any idea how much context of a joke you'd have to give to be able to like introduce somebody to a joke if we didn't have anything in common? Even this ability to like draw connection, this amazing godlike creature you guys are, to draw a relationship. Like, you know how long it would take to like to tell a joke under those circumstances? You have to hope that they can draw meaning in the same way that you do. Like, hey, do you also see meaning in 2 + 2 = 4? Okay, now that we got that, do you also draw meaning between the colors black and brown? Alright, okay, before we move further, do you also draw meaning between the sexes? Alright, before we move further, do you also draw meaning between 2 globes? Also, before we go further, do you draw meaning between water and ice? Alright, before we get to the joke, do you draw meaning between heat and fire? Alright, and then one last thing. Do you draw meaning between the mother and the father? And then the son and the daughter? Do you draw meaning? Like, yeah, long things would take. Of course we have similarities. Of course we're more similar than different. That's why movies work. That's why jokes work. Because you're reaching from the inside out. You're like, yeah, let me reach inside into this thing I know that like you're able to do, and let me boom. Let me just like reverse engineer you from the inside out. Let me show you something like really interesting from the inside out by allowing your awareness to go there for you and do all that amazing inner machinations from the 3D world from the inside. Boom. Give you all this meaning from the inside out. 3D meaning, as opposed to them trying to like word out for like 10 minutes trying to word out why it's funny that the chicken crossed the road, but rather just placing into your awareness all and like tickling your awareness from the inside out, all the things that you found funny in your life that they know that you found funny in your life. Isn't that a stronger way of communicating with people? From the inside out, because we all have things in common. We actually do have something in common. As in, it is in common within us that something happens, right? When you place the weight of the body into the front of the spine and into the rainbow watches at all the times, something happens, right? Because we're all so similar in a way. How is it possible that I could ask you to feel the front of your shins if you didn't have the front of your shins to feel? And weren't we all touching the front of our shins at some point when we were babies? Weren't we all holding the front of our shins in the fetal position at some point? Weren't we all similar at some point? So is it such a stretch to say that there might be a specific way to go about breathing? Although an inhale and an exhale might be equally important, what we find out is to get a proper inhale is to actually expel all of the CO2 from your body. Remove all of the carbon dioxide from your body. Remove all the CO2 from your body. How does that happen? By pushing it out through an exhale is what your exhales do. Push out CO2 from your body. Your body takes in it takes in oxygen, goes into the lungs, goes through a bunch of cellular conversions, grabs what it needs to from the cells, and out comes CO2. The useful but trash version of oxygen. Still useful because because that's what is left after we take what we need from the oxygen. So we got to remove it. It helps us see what we need to remove. But in order to get the proper breath, the real breath that makes you feel so good from the inside out, that feels like it was gifted from God itself, that good breath comes from expelling all of the bad breath. Comes from expelling all the breath outside of your body. Like, Herbie, my day feels like crap. How do I feel better? You gotta expel all of the bad breath out of your body. Herbie, I went to yoga. They told me to do all these breathing exercises. I still feel like crap. Because you gotta expel all the bad parts of the breath. Herbie, I went to Pilates. I tried to do all these things. I did all these inhale practices, but I still feel like crap and I can't sing the way that I used to sing. Yeah, because you gotta expel all of the bad breaths from your body. The proper way to get the proper inhale that you're looking for, the inhale that you're wishing for, the inhale that feels like it was gifted to you and not that you have to actually grab it yourself, the inhale that feels effortless, the inhale that feels like it was granted to you. How do you get that? Not by inhaling, but by exhaling all of everything that you need to exhale. Removing all the CO2 from your body so that all those places can now be properly filled up and replaced with refreshing oxygen. And that's a physiological fact, not some yoga hoodoo. It's a physiological fact. You see it in movies, you see people screaming, you see people in music, they scream, they sing. We constantly scream and sing to relieve ourselves of stress. Why? We're trying to expel the bad air that is not being pushed out properly with the proper breath, because we don't know how to properly breathe. When you properly breathe, your lower back is granted a breath. It comes like from below you. It feels like it comes from like below and behind you. And we've all felt this at some point. It makes us feel like we want to run. You know? Sometimes when you see something really attractive, you feel something from behind you push you, go forward, like it's not even you, right? Mechanically, our bodies actually are supposed to get breath from the back and from behind us. But we can't do that if we're thinking about this idea of inhaling that we got from the world. That was just our world. We didn't learn how to inhale by living in the world. We learned how to inhale because we were reacting to the world. As in, we were reacting to the way that we thought the world wanted us to be. We'd inhale to we don't want to look like we're giving our all at this time because we don't want to embarrass ourselves. Or we inhale at this moment to suck in our guts so that we look like we're in shape for our person. Or we inhale because we don't want to be too loud when we are at the dinner table and our mom's mad at us or something. Or we inhale because we want to get more of these senses that are around us. We really like that smell, so we start inhaling more. We start trying to do all those things. But those are things that happen when we become too self-aware of our bodies, and we stop thinking about how to love life, but we start fearing death. We start fearing death. As in, what is every exhale? It's a death. It's a death of an idea, because you don't know if you're going to get an inhale. Not necessarily, right? Your body it's like half faith. But every exhale is a death, as it should be. Because you have to completely kill that idea so you can be completely granted with an entirely new life. How is you going to get a new life with that inhale if there's still old life just chilling there? Just getting all stale and crusty all up in those lungs. New life is trying to get in there, but there's CO2, you need to get the hell out of here. And the CO2 is I can't get out of here. They don't know how to exhale. They haven't pretended that there's a candle in front of their lips that they're trying to press, that they're not trying to blow out. They haven't left their swallowing muscles alone. But as soon as you do that, doesn't it feel like something comes from below you? All this CO2 just chilling in there. And there's new life trying to get to you with these inhales. And it's dude, you're in my seat. And the CO2 is sorry, dude. They haven't pushed me out of the lungs yet. All these misconceptions of our bodies have prevented us from using our entire body to squeeze out all of the air of our body, kind of like a toothpaste tube. Imagine from a toothpaste tube, you're always squeezing from the middle. There's always left some at the bottom. Imagine in a water balloon, you're always squeezing from the middle. There's always going to be water left at the bottom, right? Same thing with our lungs. We haven't been using our entire lungs. We haven't been pushing from the bottom of our lungs for so long. And how do I know that? Because leaving your swallowing muscles alone and pretending that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out is a foreign feeling. But those muscles are the muscles that are needed to exhale properly. Again, I say that the muscles that activate when you pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out, to leave your swallowing muscles alone, the muscles that activate when you practice that awareness, that exercise, are the muscles that are needed to get a proper exhale. And for a proper inhale, you need a proper exhale. Why? Because a proper exhale pushes out all the CO2, and then your body, like a rubber band, stretches back, lowers the diaphragm, and the diaphragm sucks in all the air that it wants to and that it can. All of the available air. You don't even need to try to place the air anywhere. All of the available air, all of the available space will be taken up. but it's just up to us to decide how much available space there is by getting the full exhale. When you get the full exhale, you are able to free up the back, the lower back, and give up all that space in the lower back, so that you are granted with as much that potential and that great, fantastic life from below, from behind. One more time, I want you to pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. Don't think about inhaling. Don't think about exhaling. Just pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swelling muscles alone. 2 more times. Would you pretend with me that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out? And to leave your swelling muscles alone. 1 more time on your only podcast in 3D. I want you to pretend with me that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. And how does that make your sense of self feel? I want to thank you for being here with me today, this morning. I want to thank you for chilling, for conversing with me, for conversing with your own body and seeing how it feels. I want to thank you for joining me in those exercises. I want to send you off with the right song. You know what it is. Guys, I want you to pretend with me that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out, to leave your swallowing muscles alone. I think we had a lot of fun today on Mover Monday. It is 7:13 a.m. on Monday, July 26, 2021. The exhale. We had a lot of fun today talking about the exhale. Society would have you think that you put equal attention on inhale and exhale. And while it's true that they're equally important, our awareness and our relationship should mostly be with the exhale, as we always talk about our relationship with ourselves, right? On the exhale. Why? Because 100% a proper inhale is granted by a proper exhale. Doesn't it feel so freeing? Doesn't it feel so mobile? Doesn't it feel so movement oriented? To be able to just focus on exhaling. Yes, the inhale will be granted to you, you lucky creature, you, because of your design. Because of your body's design, it is already designed to get an inhale. The same way when you're unconscious, you're still breathing, right? So to focus all of our attention and get all of those ideas and not pull back, but actually get all of your ideas out. Finish your ideas so that you can get the next breath. Fail forward. Say that thing, do that thing, look that stupid. Get that energy outwards to get that great inhale in, granted to you. I'm Padawan. With me, pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. Here to use our sense of the world, to make sense of the world, to make you feel so good on the inside out, from the inside out. Again, before we go, please pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And to leave your swallowing muscles alone. Always in one ear and out the other. Feels so good. Better than your morning would have been without Go On. I'll see you tomorrow on True Love Tuesdays. Feel good. Feel so good from the inside out, everybody. See you tomorrow.